Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is January 20th, 2022. This has been my fourth day in a row going live here on YouTube doing these expired listing follow-up calls. A couple of things I want to talk about. So I just been doing this as a way to show the um, behind the active nature of prospecting, right? When you're prospecting as and doing outbound outreach, outbound calls, this is the reality of it, right? There's going to be times where people just do not answer. There's going to be times where people where you can't reach people. You're going to get wrong numbers. You're going to get things like that, especially when you're focusing on one one lead type, which is expired listings. Now, a lot of coaches out there say focus on expired listings and for sale by owners, and I definitely would say those are two great lead sources, but you won't get enough contacts in if you're looking at just doing um, this kind of outreach prospecting. You're not going to get enough contacts in, so you have to supplement that with something, whether it's circle prospecting, some other lead source, whatever. My other lead source, I've done some circle prospecting, but when I do circle prospecting, I'd rather do that in the form of door knocking. And right now it's a balmy negative 20 something degrees outside. So there's no way I'm going to be doing any door knocking in this kind of weather because there's an advisory. And if you're outside for more than 5 minutes, that shit hurts. All right. But if you, when I do door knocking, that's kind of my circle prospecting. So when the weather breaks, I usually do it around one of my listings, around a listing that just sold, things like that, in order to just get a little bit more presence in the neighborhood and get some more eyes on the listing and possibly drum up some business. Now, when I'm doing this, the other lead source that I use is absentee owners, and I get them from the share group. I will post a link in the comments to go get your leads at you'll get 15% off your first list if you go over to share group and get your leads. Now, absentee owners are somebody that I call usually in the middle of the day, right around 10:30 or 11. I have some videos, some past videos of me prospecting absentee owners. I will post some more of those videos as well. As you see that, usually I'm tied to a dialer when I do that because I've got about 3,500 leads that I just call over and over and over again and do that. And as I get email addresses, then I set them up on my campaigns and get them going that way. So it just builds up as I go. A couple of things. One more thing. I had a really cool class that I took yesterday about video mini funnels, and it's got my mind turning on some other ways to reach out to people, especially for sale by owners and expired listing, because oftentimes you can set up a text message campaign, because oftentimes when you are subscribed to these services, you'll get cell phone numbers and things like that. So utilizing the tools that are out there to make those contacts and set people up and use these mini funnels to convert leads and then service clients and then maintain clients afterwards. Really excited about that. And then the next thing is that today from 10 to noon, I'm going to be taking a refresher course on the essence of high probability selling. Now, my entire practice, or my entire technique for cold calling and my approach, is solely based on high probability selling. I even named my YouTube channel after high probability selling for real estate because there are slight differences between the original and also just selling real estate in general. It's a very different beast. You're not selling a tangible product. You're selling a service to people that may or may not need it at this time, right? So it's definitely something where you have to nurture and you have to keep in contact with people. But it's a great way. So I'm taking that course today from 10 to noon, and it's going to be amazing. You'll probably see some changes in the way that I reach out to people just from getting that refresher training. But then also there's some new pieces to high probability selling, understanding that we're in a high tech world. Because theirs is mainly like telephone prospecting, how to cold call, how to set the appointments, how to handle yourself on appointments. But now in today's day and age, we've got social media, we've got online, we've got all that. So they're even digging into some pieces for that and how that can fit into your high probability selling model. So I'm super excited about that because I feel like the class I took yesterday and then the course that I'm taking today will tie hand in hand and really take things to a whole nother level. But listen, thank you for listening to that little rant. I'm going to jump right in. I've got 5 or 6 people to follow up with today. They may or may not answer. I may be blocked by now because I've been calling them every day. But tomorrow will be the day that I'm going to drop that voicemail on them. So there were no new expired listings today. There was the one from yesterday that I'm calling again today, but no new ones today. So I'm just going to jump right in and do this. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments. Show some love in the comments. Like this video, share it out. But anyway, this is real. These are real live people that I'm calling. No role play here. Getting up, I get after it. That's a cell phone that I called. Now, these people might get set up on a mini video funnel coming up, but see, there's work in setting that stuff up, which I have no problem doing. I use a program called Dub as my main CRM. So you won't hear me talk much about any other products unless I'm actually using them and have experience with them and have good experiences with them. And the experiences that I've had with a lot of the real estate focused CRM platforms is that everybody's using them, and you're sending people the same messages, even if you're just using the default templates that they put in there. So I look for something different. I signed up for Dub years ago and had started using them when they were early on in the platform. It was very like bare bones and things like that. And they've since added on to things. And it's just an amazing, amazing platform where you can filter out your contacts, load all your contacts up in there. You can send video email messages, video text messages, use those same videos for social media, whatever you want to do. With call to action buttons, forms for people to fill out, stuff like that. I mean, creates a whole landing page and everything. So, check out Dub. I'll put a link to Dub in there. You can also get a discount for using Dub if I invite you to Dub as well. You can check it out and potentially attend that class that I went to yesterday, which was dope. It was just dope. Anyway, next call. Make sure that it's still expired. Here we go.
Hi, this is Bob. I can't take it.
Directly to voicemail. So what does that mean? Phone's off or I've been blocked. And that will happen if you're persistent with people. They might get sick of it. Maybe they just don't want to sell their house again, which is fine. But what will happen when they think about selling their house again? It's more likely that I'll be top of mind, or more likely that I'll still be keeping in contact with them. Now for the system that I use to pull my expires, it's called My Plus Leads. I get an email every single morning with new with the new expired listings, and I set it up to start getting the for sale by owners again, because I'm going to start doing some of the video stuff with the for sale by owners. Test it out on them first. But then when I set these follow-ups, I get an email and a text message reminder saying that it's time to follow up. So I just go through my email and pull them up, call them, see if it's still expired, give them a call.
Your call has been forwarded to an audit.
All right, so what I'm going to do then, and yeah, that one's been doing that all week, and that's okay that it goes directly to voicemail all week, and I'll keep on trying to call because you never know if it rings through or, whatever else. But once they get the voicemail from me, then it may even spark them to either give me a call back or whatever. But you have to remain consistent and follow through on the task, basically. As you can see, I've gotten quicker at navigating through these things. I made the choice. It wasn't like a New Year's resolution because I don't really do those, but I made the choice to I don't know what that is. I made the choice to try to get myself very comfortable talking to expired listings because at one point I just wasn't, right? Like I would call and I would literally get into arguments on the phone with people. Just you're constantly trying to convince them of your value, right? Because they've already been let down by another agent or whatever the story is. And you're competing with so many other agents that they're being hounded, called nonstop by other agents. But this year is something that I wanted to focus on. Now, either I'll reach out to them, phone call, my main mode of reaching out to people, phone call, video message, that sort of deal. I've been doing some direct mail. I'm probably going to continue doing some direct mail. But if I see that if it doesn't work for me, if I don't see the return, then I'm quick to cut something off, right? So video messaging, email, phone call, things like that is more of a direct approach, which I'm a fan of. Let that go an additional half a ring. Let's see. Mark that last one complete. And my goal is to always get these phone calls done before 9 a.m. Because then what I'll do is I'll take a little break, get some more coffee. This is Coffee and Cold Calls, by the way. I'm back with my Wu-Tang mug. And get ready to start making calls for my absentee owners. But today, absentee owners are going to be put on hold because I'm going to sit through that course, and then I've got some other things to do for a listing that I have out there right now and stuff like that. But I will make the calls. Probably end up doing it this evening. It's always good to get an evening session and a weekend session in, just to see if you can catch people at different times for when you're just cold calling that way. So yeah, this is my last call coming up, and I believe this one's going to go directly to voicemail too. But let's see. Tomorrow you'll probably hear me leaving voicemails. 3 rings. 3 rings, especially if it's a cell phone, because most likely it's right next to you. So if you look at the phone and you either recognize or don't recognize the number for screening calls, whatever it may be, 3 rings is plenty of time for somebody to answer the phone. Usually by that 4th ring or after that 4th ring, it's going to voicemail. And I'm not looking to leave voicemail just yet. So let's put these down as the follow-ups. Yeah, see. So the killer is I can set my follow-ups to remind me to make a phone call, to remind me to send a text message, remind me to send mail, remind me to go door knock, whatever it may be. It's all loaded up in here. So what might start happening is that I continue to do that, but then I set them up on that mini text message funnel, the video funnel, right? So what I'm going to start doing this weekend is putting together what those funnels are going to look like, and I will share all this information with you, of course, and how this will work for real estate, because a lot of the classes that I take always end up being something for like consultants, network marketers, things like that, but we're all in the same kind of pot. Like we can all utilize the same techniques. There's just slight differences, minor differences with the timing and the time that how many times you need to reach out to somebody, right? So the class that I took yesterday was really based on like consultants, financial consultants, but they also make it work for mortgage lenders, real estate agents, and things like that. And the testimonials that they did were people that were involved in like affiliate marketing, marketing consultants and stuff like that. So very much B2B kind of situations, right? Where we're definitely B2C, business to customer. And so what does that look like when it comes to reaching out to somebody to sell their house? So I'm going to start putting those little tweaks together just based on what I know from doing this kind of outreach and transitioning that over to some of these video messages and things like that. So stay tuned for some videos on that. And I'll also be including that in the classes that I start to put together for the subscription model that I'm looking at doing to do some coaching, more like group setting coaching to give you the realities and push your business forward, accountability groups and things like that. So I will be putting some of those things out there, and those video messages and exact scripting and things like that will all be moving to be exclusive to that subscription model. When you see me here, I'll be dropping some bits and pieces of information, very educational. But if you want like some of that more in-depth one-on-one, then within the next week, I'll be releasing a small group format for $75 a month. You want to join it, jump in. Let's get real into the nitty gritty on scheduling yourself, controlling your schedule, sticking to your schedule. What your main prospecting source is going to be, what to say to people, what tools do you need, and just things like that, going into all the nitty gritty. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for watching. This has been Coffee and Cold Calls. We'll see y'all tomorrow.